AITAH, for slapping my stepmother. I am not Oop. Oop is you, French boy 29. Originally posted to our AITAH. AITAH. For slapping my stepmother. Trigger warnings. Theft. Emotional abuse and manipulation. Physical assault. Neglect. Less than. And NBSP. Original post December 11th, 2023. To add, this is my first time writing, so please be kind. I was told by a friend to write and see the people's reaction. I'm 19, and I have an older brother, 23. Around 4 years ago my father, 42, got married my stepmother, 35, after leaving my mother, 41. My mother is French and my father is from America. After 5 months of leaving my mother, my father started to date my stepmother, and a couple months later they got married. My stepmother has 2 children, a boy Henry, 13, and a daughter Hannah, 8. My relationship with my stepmother isn't great, but we agree on some things. The incident happened 5 weeks ago when I was celebrating my 19th birthday. As guests started to arrive and the party started, it was time to blow out the candles. Before I could have done that, my mother came in the country to surprise me along. She brought a gold bracelet with my name and my horoscope sign engraved onto it. My stepsister saw the bracelet and immediately wanted it, but my stepmother told her no. Noted she has an habitat of wanting and taking things that didn't belong to her and her mother encouraged her behavior. I spoke to my father about it, and I even threatened him that I would move to France and live with my mother if it didn't stop. After blowing out the candles, she came up to me and asked for it. I told her no, but I was stupid and left it on the table with the other gifts. Later into the night I heard my mother shouting. I went to see what was happened. It was my mother and my stepmother arguing, and behind my stepmother was my stepsister with the bracelet around her hand. A moment later my father came and tried to clam both of them down. As both me and my mother pointed out that my stepsister took the bracelet even after I told her no. My father told my stepsister to hand it over, but she throwed a tantrum and tried running away, but I grabbed her hand and pulling the bracelet off. In flash of a second my stepmother pushed and slapped me for grabbing her daughter. I would admit that when I grabbed her I did squeeze her tightly. In the heat of the moment I slapped back my stepmother as my father yelled at me for hitting my stepmother. Soon after, basically everyone had heard the commotion while my stepmother cried at the top of her lungs and saying that I slap her. My stepbrother started to argue, but soon calmed down after my brother and couple cousin on my father side spoke to him. I left the party with my mother and brother. I spent 2 days at my mother's hotel before she left. When I got home back, my stepmother and her children didn't say a word to me, only throwing hints at me, and father hardly spoke to me due to me not apologizing. But a week after the incident I started to get texts and calls from my stepmother family saying how I'm a horrible person for hitting my stepmother. It got annoying and I complained to my father, but he hasn't told my stepmother anything to my known, and they start sending photos of me that they edited and wrote "woman beater," which causes me to delete my social media accounts and create different ones. I know hitting women is wrong and I don't encourage it, but in my point of view she hit my first and I got angry, but I'm considering apologizing to her and getting over the entire issue. But what should I do? And I looking forward to spending the holidays with my mother. But I would keep y'all up with and updates, so AITAH. AITAH has no consensus bot. Based on the comments, Oop was NTA. Relevant comments. Replied to a deleted comment. Oop. Yes, I did by grab my stepsister and it was wrong of me. And the dysfunctional part is a little true, and I will try to have a conversation, but how things are looking I don't think it wouldn't happen, but I'm planning on leaving the country to live with my mother, but I still want to have a good relationship with my father and stepmother. Artistic deal 3436. Moved to France. Oop. I'm going for the Christmas holidays and I'm talked to my mother about permanently staying with her. And NBSP. Update December 20th, 2023. Hello everyone. I'm very sorry that I couldn't respond to all of the comments posted here. But I did read some. Many people said NTA, while many others said YTA. This may be my last update, but I apologize for the late response. I had a lot of errands and packing to do. I'm leaving for France in the morning. As I'm typing this update, I'm currently rechecking my bags to see if I forgot anything. Since posting my original post, I have been sleeping and spending most of my time at my brother's apartment. I came home this morning because my father is dropping me off at the airport. My father and stepmother were home, along with my step-siblings. My stepmother only said a few words to me, while my step-siblings didn't say a word to me. I spent most of the day in my room, while my father checked in on me from time to time. At 8 p.m., I was called down to dinner. After dinner, I waited for my step-siblings to leave. After they left, I apologized to my stepmother for slapping her and grabbing my stepsister. She responded by nodding her head, which I think meant she accepted it. I didn't really care. After that, I turned to my father and told him about my plan to stay permanently with my mother. He was shocked and asked if that's what I wanted. He said he would support me, to which I said okay and went to my room. There were a few comments I saw that I wanted to address. Firstly, I want to thank everyone for sharing their inputs and advice, which I followed. To the people who said that I was the a-hole and I needed to apologize, thank you for your inputs. I fully understand where y'all are coming from. I was completely wrong for grabbing my stepsister and slapping my stepmother. Secondly, to all the people who said I need to ensure all my personal and important belongings were locked away and safe from my stepmother, I did follow your advice. I also had locks placed on my bedroom door. Thirdly, people were asking why I stayed living with my father and why I didn't move out. I recently graduated from high school. That's why I lived with my father. And I did have a job for a little while. I want to address the people who said my father is an a-hole, which is not true. In the situation, he could have defended me. But my father is a wonderful guy. He is a great guy. And I was never misthreatened or shunned, even after my stepmother and her children moved in. But he could have handled the situation much better. But it's his wife. Once again, I want to thank everyone for their input and advice. And I want to say that I don't encourage men hitting women or women hitting men. But I want to say thanks. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Relevant comments. Tuna tofu. Did you get your bracelet back? Oop. Sorry for the late response. I'm now going on my phone and to answer your question, yes, I did get it back. And NBSP. This is a repost sub. I am not oop. I started to get texts and calls from my stepmother family saying how I'm a horrible person for hitting my stepmother. It got annoying and I complained to my father, but he hasn't told my stepmother anything to my known, and they start sending photos of me that they edited and wrote woman beater, which causes me to delete my social media accounts and create different ones. My father is a wonderful guy. Feels like a wonderful guy would have actually done something about his wife's behavior. So stepmom slapped him and he reacted in kind, and he is the bad guy. Without even taking into account what led to this happening. Old love just wants the 19 years old gone and loves the drama. Also wonderful dad. I don't think this 19 years old knows what a wonderful dad is. So much missing here and all of it seems fairly horrible. Oop, dad is gone. I wonder in a few years why his son wants nothing to do with him. Oop wasn't an AH at all. But Op, your dad is an asshole. After 5 months of leaving my mother, my father started to date my stepmother, and a couple months later they got married. Sure thing, mate. This feels like it was written by two different people. The first post is rife with spelling and grammatical errors, which I could understand if it was written in the heat of the moment. But apparently the events happened 5 weeks prior to the post going up. And then the second post is near perfect in spelling and grammar. It's very odd. The father doesn't sound anywhere close to wonderful. I'm sure OP will see more clearly as he gets older. Stepsister is 100% crowbarring the lock off his stuff. She slapped Oop for taking back his own property, and he slapped her reflexively in response. And he's the bad one? She didn't apologize at all for slapping him, which was the actual sin here, on top of raising a damned brat. Op is really mature and strong on handling the situation, which I do applaud for. 'Cause this dad is really the fool here, and the stepmother and step-siblings are also not good. So what you think, but what Op did was self-defense. Won't be surprised if the stepmother didn't apologize to OP. Hope Op has a good time in France. But didn't read where she apologized to him. Having a vagina doesn't give you the right to put your hands on people. Op was not in the wrong, and his father is an AH. And nothing was learned. I don't care who you are. If you slap me, I'll slap you back. If you steal from me, I'll get my belongings back. Seems like a lot of Boris have moms that live in France and terrible fathers they live within America. Poor Op. There'll be a world of new hurt when they realize their father is actually not wonderful, and allowed the new wife to bully and harass this kid out of his house. Your father is choosing his new wife over his child. He is a terrible father. Am I the only one who thinks that Oop didn't do anything wrong and that the stepmom deserved it? Where the hell was the stepmother's apology for slapping him first? I was completely wrong for grabbing my stepsister and slapping my stepmother. I disagree. I want to address the people who said my father is in a hole, which is not true. Also disagree. Where was the apology to Oop for the entitled brat stealing her bracelet? Oop is too nice for her own good. I would have been holding all of them accountable and definitely would not have apologized.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AITAH is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.